Hey guys, welcome back for more Timberborn. This is an update video because I have spent all day working on the water and I've had an absolute ball. I have loved it and I think I've perfected it. I'm going to take you through the whole thing, explain what I've done, but the reason I'm giggling is Picture and I, we like watching shows like Star Trek and all that, and the gag in every sci-fi show is reverse the polarity. Yeah, how did you make it work? Well, I reversed the polarity. I've made this water system work by reversing the polarity, and it is, seriously, it was a light bulb moment. I've been working on this water system like right from the beginning. And only now does it actually work the way I want it to work. So let's take you through it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take you through a full cycle. We are at cycle 155, day 10. I've been working on this for, I don't know, 2 or 3 cycles. Yeah, we've just finished a cycle where we had max water. And we're now into a 19-day drought. You can see that there is water down here. Where has that water come from, Sky? Well, let me show you. You can see, by the way, that the water down here is absolutely to the max. This is separate. This hasn't overflowed into here or anything. Well, you can see that it's come down here. And you'll see it. I'm pretty sure you'll see it again next year. But this is where the water has come from, this slipway. And this is where we get rid of excess water that we do not want. And we have actually reached that stage now. I'm sure that'll change in the future because we're going to be using a lot more water when we put in the tree huggers and the carrot tops and the potato heads. So, but for now, yeah, we've got so much water, it's ridiculous. So, how does this work? Well, let me first talk about how it used to work. How it used to work was we filled up the Giga reservoir, right? And then at some point that would be full and we would overflow into this reservoir, and then it would, because this is 1 tile higher than the walls in all the others, when this overflows, it fills this up, and then this gets to a point where it overflows and it fills this one up, and then when it fills up, it overflows into here, overflows into here, overflows into here. And now, once we reach that point, we vent the excess and it just goes off the map. Well, that's how it worked before. How does it work now? It works exactly the same way, but before we used to pump the water from here back into here, back into here, back into here. Like once the drought started, we would pump the water into here, into here, into here, into here. And then we had a trench that ran up here and went into here. Well, yeah. Well, now it doesn't do that. And this was the moment where I was like, oh my God, yes, that's it. What we do now is we pump the water from here into here, into here, into here, into here. And then this trench is where we pump the water out of this one, out of this reservoir. We pump it into this trench. Let me drop the layers down so you can actually see this. There you go. So the water gets pumped into here, goes along this trench, and gets dumped into this reservoir. And from this reservoir, it gets pumped out to maintain the water level at this constant level. Okay, cool, excellent. Why is that so much better? Well, because before, when you were pumping the water this way, right? This is hard to explain. So, let's say you fill this one up, you fill this one up, and maybe you partially fill this one up. Then, when you start pumping the water out, so first of all, you fill this one up and then it starts overflowing into here. This one's only like half full at that point. Then you start pumping water into here before this is even empty. So we're not minimizing the evaporation the way that I wanted to. With this, because we're pumping from this end this way, once this is empty, that's it. And then this will empty, then this will empty, then this will empty. So we're always maintaining the minimum surface area for our water, and thus minimizing the evaporation, which is awesome. Okay, so that is pretty much it. It's that simple. Now I have, because I was in the mood to do it. So I've actually taken this down another level. So all of these have 2 pumps pumping the water out. But I thought, since this is the primary one, we'd take it deeper. Now, if I wanted to store more water, I could just take these down another level, put another pump in, and if I wanted to, I could add additional reservoirs to this. I could, for example, I could turn the corner and I could have reservoirs coming down here, and turn the corner and have reservoirs coming down. I could, this just blooming works. The old one was a nightmare. So it's like, it goes in, it comes out. It's that simple. Trying to do it as a loop just didn't work. So that's, and I can't tell you, seriously guys, I can't tell you how completely overjoyed I am that this is now done, finished. I never have to touch it again, except if I just want to store more water. And to be honest, I don't think I do, because we have got so much water now. It's ridiculous. Okay, so that's that. What should we talk about now? Okay, let's talk about this reservoir over here, because this has been the source of a lot of comments and a lot of, I don't know, discussion, shall we say? Yes, let's say that. Discussion. There you go, I said it. So, how the hell does this work? What is the point of it? Because people have been like, what the... Like, you've got dams here to allow water in. You've got 2 pumps pumping water out. We have the trench sending water in here. And then we've got this coming down, but that doesn't go into it. That goes down the side. Like, what the hell? It seemed like a mess. And it wasn't a total mess, but it was missing one thing, which is these 3 pumps here. Or, well, 6 pumps, but we'll call it 3 because they're, yeah, because it's 3 chains of pumps. Although they are actually working as one, but never mind. It's 3 pumps. Get over it, Sky. All right, it's 3 pumps. Okay, so what was the original point of this? And the current point of it. The point of this is to keep the water level at, well, it's 3.75 tiles deep, right? That's the depth that we want it at, and that's what we're doing. Okay, so we're pumping 2 lots of water in here. Some water is being taken out to feed this river valley system. So that's one source of water drain on here. We've also got water being taken up into the baseball diamond, as I've come to call it, Bob's Barrel Bot world. So we've got the water being taken up there. It's being used to irrigate. It's being used to create biofuel. We've actually got a pump there, pumping some water out. So that's another drain on the system. And then if we come round here, the biggest drain over here near the Christmas Isles. And let's face it, you gotta freak out every time I see it, because I don't come over here that often now, because I've been working on the other side of the map. And every time I come over here, this makes me smile. What do you think, picture? Doesn't that make, it's like, seriously, doesn't that make you smile?
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, it's awesome. I love that. The kids come down here and play. This is the biggest drain, where we are taking pretty much a full pump of water out of here, like all the time. It's not, it's about, I think it's about 3/4 of a pump that we're feeding into the water wheels, like constantly, right? So that's a pretty big drain. So, and plus you've got the evaporation in the system. Okay, so we need to replace that if we want to keep this at a fixed level. And I do. Why do you want to keep it as at a fixed level, Sky? I mean, why don't you just let it go up and down? Because I do. I don't have a good reason. I just do. I like it to be constant, right? What I want is for this to be constant and for the reservoir to go up and down. And that's what now happens. So, Whew. Let's come back over here. So what was happening before was we were getting, during the wet season, we were getting too much water coming down here because because we were getting the water being pumped by these pumps. Oh, by the way, I have added 2 more rows of pumps to this. It's actually that set and that set. We were getting water pumped into here. So this was reaching its full point. So that water is getting pumped up into here. We've also got the water source here. See, water source. This water source was pumping water into here. We've got these 2 pumps pumping water into here. And it was too much for the system. The overflow was coming round here and getting dumped via the trench into here. And it was all just too much, and we were getting flooding. Okay? Not a good thing. So these pumps are here to stop that from happening. So first of all, I put this dam in to hopefully, because this gets emptied during the dry season by these pumps. So I was hoping that would be enough to kind of handle the overflow. Nah, not enough. So we were still getting flooding. So I added these rows of pumps, and their job is to make sure that this level doesn't get too high. So the water floods into here, and then these pumps pump it via this trench into this reservoir, right? And then let's say we only had this one full and this one full. The water will go into here, be pumped straight into this one, straight into this one, straight into this one, and that's it. And so we don't have an evaporation problem with pumping that water into these. The way it was working before, if you're going around in a loop, we would have had water in all 5 of these all the time. So that's why this system is so much better than the old system. This works. This works, and it's simple. And you can see that as time goes on, this is emptying. And eventually this will be empty, and then this one will start emptying, and then this one, and then this one, and this one. And it is a thing of freaking beauty. I love this. This is the icing on the cake. I mean, it was cool having the Giga reservoir kind of sort of working, but the way it's working now is just awesome. Right, I think at this point, having explained how it all works, what we should do is see it in action. So I'm going to run it on until we hit the wet season, and then we'll look and see how does it actually work. Okay, the drought has ended, and as you can see, we have used 2 of these reservoirs. This one's almost empty. But this is not the point at which this stops emptying. Oh no. This will keep emptying until the Giga reservoir is totally full and starts overflowing into here. So this is going to get lower. I would expect, I mean, we're probably going to go 2 or 3 days before this starts actually filling up again. So we'll take a look. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at the sort of the key points in the cycle and figure out exactly what's happening to each part of the system at that key moment. So let's go down here. Let's look at the Giga reservoir, because this backup reservoir, that's not the only water that we use up. It's the water from here and also what we've used from the Giga reservoir. And as you can see, the Giga reservoir is down, let's see, probably 1, 2, 3, 4, about 4.5 tiles, something like that. So that's the water that we have used during the drought. So let's have a look. And if we look down here, we can see that our water level hasn't changed. Our water level down here in the lower reservoirs is the same as it was in the middle of the wet season. And that is exactly what I've wanted. And if we look, you can see this reservoir has emptied because we've got 1 pump's worth of water coming in, 2 pumps worth of water going out. We get a little bit of water that overflows into here from the water that's coming in from the Giga reservoir, which is pumped up here and comes around the moat and then down here, and a little bit of it will go into there. But that's it's so nice to see this lower reservoir at just steady state. It's just always at this level. Now the question is it going to stay at that level when all of the floodwaters are pouring into here? So remember, we've got 2 water sources. We've got 1 water source inside the castle. If I can click on it. No, that's not it. That's it. There we go. So we've got 2 tiles here. And then we've got, I think it's 5. Is it 5 tiles? I think it's 5 tiles over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 tiles. So what we need to do now is wait for all this water to pour in and fill up the Giga reservoir. At the point where we've filled up the Giga reservoir, then we will overflow into this reservoir and start filling these up. It's going to be interesting to see at that point exactly how much water we've used up, because this has still got a tiny bit of water in. Not much. So, right. Let's move on to that point. I don't know how quickly that's going to happen. I'm going to guess it's probably going to be on about day 3. Okay, now this is something I wasn't expecting, so we're back a bit quicker. Day 2, and the water has started pouring in here. So if we go and have a look, let me slow this down a second. We go and have a look at this reservoir. So the water has been pouring in from the castle water source, has been pouring in down here. It has filled this reservoir, and now these 3 sets of pumps are pumping the water through this trench into the backup reservoir. So we're already starting to fill up the backup reservoir again. So in that short time, what's happened to the Giga reservoir? I said we were down about 4.5 tiles or so. I reckon, yeah, we filled up about between half a tile and a tile in the Giga reservoir. So we've still got a ways to go before that fills up completely and starts flooding into here. Although that's a 2-stage process, because initially we've got the water, just the water that's coming in from the water source over there, the 5-tile water source. But at some point, the water level over here is going to get to the point where it overflows into this overflow ditch. And then these 7 pumps are going to start pumping water into the Giga reservoir. When that happens, the Giga reservoir fills up pretty quick. So, you know what? I guess we'll wait and see how quickly that happens. Yeah, we didn't have to wait too long. Not long at all. We're still on day 2. And as you can see, this is overflowing, and these pumps are now starting to pump into the Giga reservoir. Let's speed it up and see. Yes, here we go. It's intermittent at the moment, but eventually all 7, or in fact we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, well, we have 5 running for a second. I'm sure if we give it a few seconds, we'll get all 7 online. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, only for we've still got 4 running. Oh. It takes a while to get into full flow. That's 5. That's 6, 7. Right, and I think now we're in full flow. I think now we are in full-on mode. Yeah, we're in full-on mode now. So these 7 pumps are going to be pumping at max capacity for the rest of the wet season. And you can see the flow of the water coming down here. These things do shift a fair amount of water. And you can see the water like going up and down at this end. Okay, I think it's fully maxed out now. Okay, we're into day 3. I said probably day 3. Now, we should see, if we come over here and look at these tiles, that the water level, now we've got those 7 pumps and all the water coming in from the water source, that this is going to go up pretty quick. And you can see pretty much, yeah, you can actually see it going up. That's how fast it's filling up. Yeah, okay, that is not going to take long. Okay. So the next crucial thing, well, we should go around here and check. Oh, look, water level is still okay. We are not flooding or anything. Now, if we get like a little bit of flooding, that's fine. I don't mind it. Like you know, little incursions of the water onto the land, that's fine. What I don't want to see is any major flooding. So if we see that like this whole area, well, not this because this is a tile higher, but if this whole area is flooded and this whole area is flooded, then no, that's not a success. Little bit of water, okay. Right, so the next major event is when the Giga Reservoir is full and we start overflowing into here. So let's wait and see how quickly that happens. I don't think it's going to take all that long. Okay, it's just started flooding. We're just into day 6. We've got 0.8 now. 0.8 of a day. We've had the minimum amount of water. We only had 3 days of water before we got the warning. So we're going to get 7 days of water. That's it. That's it. Whereas for the last few seasons, we've been getting 8-9 days of water. And those extra couple of days make a huge difference to your water reserve. Absolutely huge difference. So as you can see, we're starting to fill up. And because we were pretty full already, we're almost instantly going to start overflowing into this reservoir. And then that will quickly overflow into this one, and then we'll start filling up this one. But look, this one is almost full already. So we've only used like one and a bit, which is kind of crazy. So yeah, this is full. The Giga Reservoir is full. The backup reservoir, we only need, whoop, where is it? Here it is. I lost it for a second. We only need to get like 1 and a bit. We've got half a day left. So I think what we'll find, I mean, we're not going to fill this up in half a day. So you can see when we get the minimum amount of water, and we had a 20-day drought, then we're going to be losing water, like overall. But when we get good wet seasons and we get 4 or 5 days before the warning, then we're going to be overflowing for sure, because like another day of water, and this is going to overflow. Okay, now the question is, at the point at which we start overflowing into here, this is when we used to start seeing flooding. So let's go down and have a look. And no flooding. In fact, everything's looking very, very comfortable down here. In fact, you can see that the water's flooding into here because of these 3 pumps, pumping the water out and keeping us on an even keel. Those three extra pumps combined with, well, those 3 pumps, because there weren't any pumps there before. Those 3 pumps combined with the 2 sets of extra pumps here seems to have solved. I do say seemed because you never know, but it seems to have solved our flooding problems. And now everything appears to be steady state. Let's crank it up. So we've got just 0.3 days left, but everything looks really, really good. I am loving it. Let's have a little look down here. I was going to crank it up, but it didn't click. Down here, this is just steady state. Yeah. Everything very smooth down here. We're going to be working on this tomorrow. Tomorrow's video is going to be down here and up here. I have had an idea for down here. One of my mega projects. I'll run it by you and see what you think. So I was thinking, because somebody said, oh, you could wall off down here and you could have a big lake. Don't really want to do that because having a big lake down here would increase our water evaporation, which would not necessarily be a good thing. But how about like a small lake and a giant waterfall? And I'm talking like up here, and a big waterfall. And what I'm thinking is that we have like a little lake here, and we have a pump on one side, pump on the other side, but try and conceal it behind like a cliff, like a ragged cliff, like I don't know, this kind of thing, right? And then the water gets pumped up on both sides up to a very, very tiny little lake at the top, where it overflows and goes down some nice waterfalls into the lake at the bottom. I thought that could be a very nice feature. If you've got any thoughts about that, leave me a comment, let me know what you think. Right, the drought has just started. So, now you might think, well, the drought started, so the water has stopped being pumped in. So this, you can see, this water source over here, that's stopped. This water source over here in the castle, that's stopped. So we won't be getting any more water into the backup reservoir. No, that's not correct. This is going to carry on filling up for a while. You can see, let me crank this up. You can see this is still overflowing. This is still flooding in. And it's because if we go and have a look down at this reservoir down here, this reservoir still is within range of these pumps. So we've got like, what, half a tile? If I can, yeah, yeah, about half a tile of water. And these dams, are we still getting any water in from the dams? Has it stopped now? Okay, it's stopped now. So we've got half a tile of water to come in from here. But also, if we go round here, we're probably, yeah, we're still pumping here. Starting to dry up over there. But that means that we've got excess water in here, which is going to get pumped out, which is going to probably flow into here. So we're going to be getting a little bit more water. Should we see? You know what? I'll run it on a bit until we stop getting water in from here and stop getting water in from here. You can see we're still overflowing into here, and that is flowing all the way through here and still spilling into here. Although, are we going to stop? Let's speed it up. Are we going to stop? Almost. It's still going though. This is still going. And when this gets full, this will spill into here. And only when all 5 of these backup reservoirs are all full, then it will flow over this dam and out here. Okay, we just stopped. Okay, pause. So, yeah, we've stopped at that end. We've stopped at this end. So we actually used that much water. and that's on the minimum amount of water possible. If we had a good year, like an extra day of water, we would be flooding it off the map because we just can't store it. So, let's talk about, I'm probably going to title this video something along the lines of water management perfected or something, which is a bit clickbaity, but, you know, algorithm. Is this the perfect water system? Okay, the first thing I want to address is this is not the perfect water system. I would never claim that. To be honest, I think the perfect water system is to capture every drop of water that's coming onto the map and immediately put it in barrels. That's the perfect water system, because the water that's in barrels doesn't evaporate, and you've just got it all, and you've captured it all, and that's it. You don't want any water out on the map if you can avoid it. So, irrigate your crops in the most efficient way possible. But as far as, capturing and storing water, get it, put it into barrels. That is the best. So, is this the perfect system? No, it's not the perfect system. What I was referring to in I'm sure what will be the title is, have I perfected this system? And what I'm going to say is, on a conceptual level, yes, because I've created an equilibrium between. So this level has reached steady state. We're not flooding. It doesn't go down. That's fine. The Giga reservoir goes up and down as it should, and our backup system works. We've got an overflow if we need it. We're capturing enough water. Everything works. So I'm going to say, on a conceptual level, I've perfected it. What about on an execution level? On an execution level, no, because there are definitely improvements that you could make on an execution level. So, for example, we've got 2 pumps pumping out here to keep this this water at a steady level, and I think we need 2 pumps pumping out here, but we've only got 1 pump pumping in. Now I want to do that because I want this to eventually go down, and I want this to have some leeway to take the initial shock of water rushing down. But a better way to do this, I think, autosave, thank you. A better way to do this would be when this channel, well, I mean, I was going to say when this channel is dry, but it would work even when this channel is not completely dry. If we pumped the water out directly there, right, and we cut a 1 tile wide channel into here, so we have this like in the center, 1 tile deeper, right, so that we could pump the water out and it would run down a 1 tile wide channel down here and go into the Giga reservoir, and keep the Giga reservoir fuller, and have the Giga reservoir feeding the lower reservoir, right? That would be better. Why would that be better? Okay. The faster that we empty this reservoir, the better, right? Because we've got increased surface area. As long as any of these are full, we've got increased surface area, therefore more evaporation. So we want to empty this as soon as we can. So if we had 2 pumps going out of here, so instead of just having this 1 pump, if we had 2 pumps, we would be emptying this more quickly, right? The thing is, we can't put it into the lower reservoirs because it would just get pumped back up here into here. That doesn't solve the problem. But if we pumped it into the Giga reservoir and kept the Giga reservoir at a higher level, that's fine because we're not increasing the surface area, right? So more water in the Giga reservoir, less water in the backup reservoirs is a good thing. So yeah, now I might do that. I might just leave the goddamn thing alone because I've spent far too much time messing around with the water management. But it's. I mean, that, for me, that's the most fun part of the game, is messing around with the water and seeing what you can do and how much can you capture and how can you play around with it and what can you do, what can you build. But yeah. Let's see. I started playing around with this at 6 a.m. this morning. It is now just coming up to 5 p.m. So the first thing I need to do is shut up and go edit this video and get it out as quickly as possible. But I don't know. part of me wants to continually optimize and make it better and make it more efficient. And there may come a point when we start using more water where I actually have to do that, and it becomes an issue. And I'm like, right, actually, I'm going to have 3 or 4 pumps because I need to empty this as quickly as possible into the Giga reservoir to minimize our evaporation even more. But another part of me just wants to get on with doing other things and doing other cool things. Like, say, this waterfall thing, I think that's cool. I'd be interested to see what you guys think. I want to do the tree huggers up here. I want to get on with specialized colonies. So the tree huggers are going to be producing chestnuts, maple syrup, all that kind of stuff, and then distributing that out to all the other colonies, specifically to Beaver Castle. Now, I may limit it to Beaver Castle. The ultimate goal with Beaver Castle is going to be for the highborn at Beaver Castle to not do any work and to be maximum well-being. Now, can I get them to maximum well-being? I mean, we'll see. We can probably get pretty close. But I want all the other colonies sending them stuff so that they don't have to do anything. So maple syrup and chestnuts will come from these guys over here, the tree huggers. The carrot tops and the potato heads will be sending carrots and potatoes into Beaver Castle. These guys will be sending, I don't know, something or other. Oh, wheat. Yeah, wheat, bread, maple pastries. Yeah, dude, maple pastries. Over here, I would imagine we'll probably do an industrial thing. I have been thinking over here about maybe doing some aquatic farming, because these are irrigation ditches. We've got water in here, so I was thinking maybe we flood like this tile. I'm going to call this a tile. This tile, this tile, this tile, this tile, do like a bit of a nice pattern or whatever, and have our aquatic crops growing up here. That's one idea, but I've also, you know what, I'm going to pause this while I'm flying around the map because it's a bit smoother. I have also thought about having, like, I don't know, maybe down here, having an aquatic farming area and a bunch of people down here. Now, you may be looking at this and going, it's going to overflow. It's going to overflow. Let me speed it up. What happens is it'll get up to this max level and you'll see it like as if it's going to overflow, and then it'll just go back and stop and behave. There you go. I've never seen it overflow, and I don't think it will. Because once it gets up to that max level, it has to go a bit higher before it'll go over the edge, and we've got a pump up here pumping the water out, so not an issue. So there you go. That's where I am with water management, and my God, I hope that I can stop myself from playing with this, at least on this scale, anymore. I want to leave that alone. I want to go and do some other things. I want to finish this map. I want to get on to update 3. There's so many things to do. Got to finish this map first. All right, guys. I hope you've enjoyed this little update. I must admit, I've had an enormous amount of fun today, as well as achieving something, I think, which is really essential for me to get on and do the other areas. I need to be able to just leave this alone and have it do its thing and not have any problems at all. And then I can just focus on the other builds. There's a ton of aesthetics work. I've got to do the Temple of Supreme Awesomeness. Beaver Castle's a mess. I've got to sort this out. And that is potentially a big job. It kind of depends how I'm going to do it. This down here, this is going to go away. And I have considered having the moat. You see how it's curved on this side like that? I've considered doing that on this side and routing this canal in a curved way as a lower moat around here. But yeah, we need the Bailey wall. I've got to decorate this and make it look really, really nice. Really nice. And then there's just tons of decoration everywhere. I've started putting trees and stuff in the river valley to make the river valley like really nice. With so much work got to do up at Bob's World. So there you go. That's where I am. That's kind of my thoughts at the moment. Leave me your thoughts. Leave me a comment. I'd love reading your comments. I mean, a lot of what's happened on this map has come from you guys. So, yeah, keep giving me the comments, and I'll keep building. I'll catch you for the next one. Peace out.